Okay, let's talk home renovations, landscaping renovations, basically any home project. If you haven't been following me, I'm Lillian, and I have been doing very expensive home renovations and landscaping renovations for the past 3 years on my own home here, as you can see, and I take you guys along for the ride. I do all of the expensive projects. I pay for all of the knowledge and the experts to come out and work on my house, and I take those learnings and I share it with you guys, which is why I'm your interior bestie. And I don't say that arrogantly. I say it because we need to be real about how much these projects cost. And there is obviously the DIY aspect of it. I am not a DIYer. I like don't garden. I don't know how to build a garden from scratch. It's just not in my wheelhouse. So I hire the people to come and do it. And it's expensive. If you want to get the job done right, it's expensive, and you pay for what you get most of the time. You can get lucky, maybe working one off with, some Joe Schmo, but most of the time it doesn't work out. So if you've been following, you know that I am very much still in the thick of my landscaping renovation, which is very transformative. I will show you before and afters in just a second and where we are today. But here are some of the takeaways that I've learned so far. Okay, so just for context, to just show you that I do know what I'm talking about, here is our backyard area when we bought the house. So it's very dark, it's old. I don't like the old flagstones they used, and it just seemed very dingy. So here's the transformation. So here is that same space now. As you can see, it's still a work in progress. If you've been following me, I need patio furniture and all of that. But we removed the heavy pergola. It was so dark and so heavy. I wanted something super light, refreshing, and just really clean lines. So I removed all of the original stonework and put in new stones there. This is a Luter's limestone, and just really clean edges and just something bright and a great foundation for what I want to do here. So a landscaping project is very different than an interior project, which I know you're like, duh, but you don't really understand how many more elements are involved once you do anything outdoors. You've got Mother Nature, which is one heck of a mother of an element to deal with. Depending on where you live, if you have crazy swinging weather climates like here in Texas, then you have to deal with understanding all the different types of plant varieties that will work and thrive. You want to work with native plants because you don't want to plant stuff and it completely dies in a few months because it's either too cold or too hot. So that's number one. You just really have to respect Mother Nature. Number two, it's all of the not fun stuff that is the most important and critical to your landscaping project. And those things include irrigation, electrical, drainage, flooding, all of that stuff you have to take into account. And you really need to work with a good irrigator and a good site planner for those who really can look at your elevations and understand where water is going to drain properly, where it's not going to drain. It's a whole thing. And number three, I know this might sound like a no-brainer, but it is really hiring the right people to do the job. People who have been doing it for a while. Don't hire a jack of all trades. Hire the people specifically for the job. So hire a gardener, hire a landscaping designer, hire an irrigation person to come. It really is a whole village of people, and you really shouldn't be working with one person who is saying that they can do all of it, because in my experience that never works. So hire the experts for each of the individual jobs, and it'll save you a headache in the long run. I've had many projects kind of have to be pulled back because it was a person who said that they could do a lot of different things, and it just doesn't work. So these are just a few of the general rule of thumb that I have learned after doing 2 years of working on the outside landscaping project from conception to execution. And I will keep you guys posted on all of it, but I hope that was helpful.